Hey, what's up, y'all? Okay, so today, I'm just having my morning coffee. Um, it's another day with working with Uber, Uber and Lyft. Um, Yesterday was a pretty long, rough one. Working with Uber is not what it used to be. Okay, so let me start. Let me start this way. I do Uber drives. I do passenger trips. I don't do the Uber Eats. I don't do, DoorDash. And although I am, what do you call it? I am approved to do those, but I just don't do them because it's definitely absolutely not worth it. I'm in New Jersey. I want to make that perfectly clear because each individual or each state has its own system within the Uber app. So it has its own system, it has its own setup. You need to know your own area. All right, so let's start there. I'm in New Jersey. There's a lot of things that go on in the app that don't go on in the New Jersey, the New Jersey app. That, for instance, isn't in the New York app, and absolutely not in the California app, which really pisses people off. But I'm not going to talk about everybody else. I'm going to talk about me. The Uber app, or Uber and Lyft, okay, they claim to be giving the drivers 70% of whatever the passenger is paying, which is 1,000% bona fide lie. Okay, it used to be. It used to be when I first started 2 years ago. I've been driving almost 2 years. It used to be that Uber would take 15%. Now they're taking upwards of 60 and 65%. So and on top of that, the rate is random for each individual trip. The same exact trip, the same exact ride. So if I'm going from here down the street, let's do a round number. From here right down the street, which is 2 miles, it's $5 right now. Okay, I'll take the same exact trip. An hour later, it's $7.50. Okay, or take the same trip tomorrow, it's $15.50, or it's $3.50. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I don't understand how Uber gets away with this, with doing that. I'm sure it's got something to do with the arbitration and how they worded all of these updates and stuff they keep pushing out to us that we have to agree to. That way we can't sue them and blah blah blah. Man, I'm honestly, I started doing Uber and Lyft because I wanted to be able to provide for myself and my family in this really tough time. I'm also a photographer. I've been a photographer for over 25 years. Ever since COVID, actually a little bit before COVID, my photography business took a nosedive. Moving a couple times, and now I'm basically reestablishing myself where I live now, and it's just been a difficult time. So I decided to do Uber to make up for that. And at first it was pretty good. Like I said, when I first started, they were taking 15%. It was great. It was great. So me and my lady, we moved from where we were, bought this place based on how good I was making the money with Uber. That's how good it was. We based buying this house. It's a 3-story house. It's got a small basement. It's got a nice sized yard. I mean, the yard looks like crap right now, but I mean, we got a nice sized yard. We got what do you call it? A driveway. Although it's right on a busy highway, It is still, it's still a nice house. So we based buying this house off of how good I was doing with Uber. So as time went on, the payouts got less and less and less. I'm bringing home 1,800 a week. And then as time went on, it just got less and less and less and less. And that 1,500, 1,800, that was working 4 hours. I want to say no more than 5 hours a day. That's how good it was back then. 5 hours a day. Now, or as time went on, it got to be, okay, I have to put in 8 to 10 hours to bring home that same 1,500. Then it went down to, okay, I'm not getting 1,500. Now I'm getting 1,000. Now I'm getting 800. Okay. And in that time span of 8, 10, 11 hours, I've only maxed out the time, which is 12. The app allots you 12 hours a day, and then you have to take a 6-hour break before it'll let you back on. It'll lock you out. So so it went from $1,800 a week in 8, 10, 11 hours to 700, 600, working that same amount of time, that 8, 10 hours. And, Uber basically put me in a position where it puts you in a position where they feed you enough to keep you around. Okay, they make it so that you have to do a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of driving. They put you in areas that you're not used to, so that they can lower your rate, your payout rate. It went from $1.15 a mile down to 66 cents a mile. Okay, so in my regular area, $1.15 a mile, $1.44 a mile. Okay, but when it dumps me, when I have to take a long trip, say like I'm down in the Manahawkin area, Long Beach Island area, like from here to Newark Airport, and then I get dumped in. Then if I decide to stay on the app and work up there, they then drop my rate down to 66 cents a mile. Why? I mean, I used to live up there for one, so I do know the area. But why are you dropping my rate? Why are you dropping the rate? It's just all kinds of BS that we got to deal with, and we're subjected to. They're too big to fail. Okay, Uber and Lyft is just too big to fail. But like I said, it's not what it used to be. It's nowhere near what it used to be. As a quick side hustle, you might be okay with you might be okay in certain areas, but not here. Now, the Uber map, the trending map as to what areas they're saying is really hot, really popular, really hot right now. You could do well. It's forever Essex County, Union County, forever. Okay, you can look at that 24 hours a day, and it's always it's on a scale of 1 to 4, and it's forever at 3 and 4, and you really don't have to wait very long for a ride or a trip up there. But the downside to that is if you don't live in that area, you're wasting gas to get up there. We don't get compensated for the gas. We don't get compensated. Well, no, we get reimbursed for the toll. If you are looking for an easy or quick 20 or 30, 40 bucks, you might get lucky with Uber and Lyft. It's not what it used to be. I mean, it was 5, 6 hours time. Yeah, you might come off with 50, 50, 60 bucks. That's how bad it is. It used to be a hell of a lot more. We're struggling. I'm struggling. I got me, my lady, and one of our kids lives with us here. 13, 13 thinks he's an adult, but no, no. 13, messy, just a typical boy. Okay, a typical boy. It's difficult for us to try to it's difficult for me to try and budget money the way it used to be. Going out, very broken sleep, trying to budget money, pay for everything, because again, like I said, I got into this, or we got into this house because of the money that I was making, as well as what she's bringing home. Um, yeah, it's it's hard, man. It's really hard. My laptop sounds like it's about to fly away. I don't know why. Whatever's going on over there, I really got to look at that thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is the day. This is the day in the life, or a day in the life of, you know, driving for Uber, driving for Lyft, driving for all these rideshare, companies. Do I have good days? Yeah, I have some good days. Most of them are bad, but I have good days. Meeting people, that's a plus. You know, I put myself out there again as a photographer. Building up. Hey, or during the course of the conversation, I'll say, I'm also a photographer. Um, and most times, a lot of the people will be, oh yeah, that's great, that's great. Can I get your card? And how people are, blowing smoke up your ass. Never call. Can I get your card? Or they're going through. Oh, I wish I had known about you. A few months ago. Or this person is getting married soon. Or what kind of photography do you do? And blah blah blah. And you know, but you never know. You never know. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm always trying to be optimistic. But I'm also a realist. I Uber and Lyft is not the way. Is not the way. Um, my body hurts, aches, pains. Um, Now, I will say, to counteract that, I will get back in the gym, but that's another tangent of me rambling off on. Um, but getting back to my original thing, um, trying to budget in here, trying to keep this roof going. The honeydew list of things that have to be repaired and dealt with, and keeping money and keeping food coming in. Um, it's a struggle. Uber and Lyft is not the way. I can't say that enough. Uber and Lyft is not the way to go. Okay. Um, I'm starting to go for the CDL. I'm looking at getting the Class A, but 9 times out of 10, I may end up getting the Class B. Class B, I can go drive for a bus company or something like that, or a straight truck or something. I would do the Class A, but I don't want to be locked into a trucking company for a year or 5 years or however long with the training. Um, because what if I don't like it? You know what I mean? What if I don't like it? And now all of a sudden, now I have to pay them back, $6, $7,000 for the training. Um, And then on top of that, being in those companies that will train you that way, where they'll pay for everything. Those are the ones that you got to do over the road driving. I'm not really prepared for that. Me and the missus, we're we're still relatively new. We're still relatively new in our relationship. 4 years, it's a long time, but we're still doing our thing. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with this bronchitis. But if you could avoid getting onto the Uber and Lyft platform and driving, I would say avoid it at all costs. You don't get reimbursed for any kind of repairs to your vehicle. You don't get reimbursed for toll, gas. You have to pay that. That comes out of the money that that's your what's it called, cost of doing business. That's your cost of doing business. But if that's the cost of doing business, then why aren't we compensated for that? I mean, you'll reimburse us for the toll, but you don't provide for any kind of wear and tear on the vehicle. That doesn't make sense. You specifically want us to have a vehicle that's older or not older than 15 years. But if any kind of repair pops up, you're not compensating us for that. So again, Uber and Lyft is not the way. It's not the way. There's just so many intricate details that you really get screwed out of with Uber and Lyft. They don't appreciate the people that are. Uber and Lyft is an app. So they sat behind a computer and they created this app, and the people that are actually out here implementing the service itself, they're just props. They're just props. They're tools. They're peons, Yeah. I swear I wish I wasn't stuck in this. I swear I wish I wasn't stuck in this. The easiest thing to do is to say, oh, go do something else. Yeah, well, if I go do something else, or the minute I go look for something else, that's money that I'm losing by not being out there on the road. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could look online for jobs and stuff like that, and you can network with other people. But again, Uber and Lyft, they give you enough to keep you hanging on. They put you in an area. They keep promising. It's all the fake promises of, yeah, if you go to this area of your county, we're promising this amount of money. We're promising this bonus. We're promising a $2 or $3, even up to $16. I've seen. If you go to this area, we're promising a $16 increase on top of what the passenger's paying. Bullshit, but okay. I never fell for that. But the average person would. The new people that jump on the app, they would fall for that. If you can avoid Uber and Lyft, please do so. Avoid Uber and Lyft at all costs. As a driver. If you can avoid it, avoid it at all costs. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. Again, this is me just piecing together my day, a day in the life of Lance Tyler, the Uber and Lyft Chronicles. There's another day in the life of that. All right, listen. Do what you got to do to get where you want to go. Uber and Lyft is not the way. Anyway, you guys take care. Talk to you soon.